This meeting of the Eureka Springs City Council come to order. Ms. Clerk, would you establish a quorum, please?
Ms. Balance?
I'm here.
Mr. Kirkpatrick?
Here.
Ms. Alexander?
Here.
Mr. DeVito?
Here.
Mr. Berry?
Present.
Mr. Pownall?
Just a special note, Mr. Pownell will not be here due to a death in the family, so all our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. Keep them in mind, okay? We do our Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Motion to discuss.
Move to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Seconded. Who wants to go first? Ms. Balance?
I'd like to move item number 2 under new business, postpone it till the next meeting. Discussion of new accounting software program for finance department.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So, any opposed? So carried. Any other discussion on the agenda? I have one item to add. It'll be the Concerned Citizen email. It was tabled at the last meeting, and I neglected to get it on the agenda this time. So we'll put it on there, and y'all can discuss it. Yes, ma'am.
Since that's Mr. Ponnell's issue and he is not here, might we please postpone it till the next meeting?
Is that a motion?
I do move.
Okay. Motion to postpone the addition of the Concerned Citizen email. Any discussion on that? Is there a second?
Second.
Made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Any further discussion on the agenda? All right, next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Motion to discuss.
Do we have to approve the agenda?
If all of you have them, you don't have any questions, we don't have to go through the formalities of this. We'll just,
voting
after
on
if there's any changes or deletions, if there are none, it'll just carry us as an approval and we'll go on to the next item. No discussion? All right, we'll move on to Commission, Committee, Authority, and Vacancies. I have 2 applications, one of which is Richard Grinnell for HDC position number 6 for nomination and your approval, and Mickey Schneider for position number 6 on Planning Commission. And I submit those for nomination tonight. Mr. DeVito.
Since Mr. Grinnell already sits on the HDC, I would move to approve his nomination.
Okay. Motion's been made to approve Mr. Grinnell's position on the HDC.
I object to consideration of the question.
And state your question.
I object to consideration of the question since we've usually been nominating them at one meeting and voting at the next. I'd like to carry through with that procedure, please.
You want to vote on it tonight? Is that what you're saying? No. All right. State your question in a manner where everybody can understand it, man.
I object to consideration of the question.
Okay.
That means I object to consideration of the question. I would like to postpone this until next meeting since, generally speaking, during the seating of this council, we have been nominating people at one meeting and voting on them at the next meeting. I'd like to continue that procedure, please.
Okay. Mr. Weaver, what's your recommendation on the protocol here?
Right now, neither motion has a second. Neither the motion or the objection.
Okay.
So neither one.
Mr. DeVito made the motion
properly.
first.
Yeah, my motion still stands.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion on it?
I object to consideration of the question.
Okay. Motion.
That would be an intervening motion. If the council wishes to take it up, they would have to vote.
All right.
And she
Excuse
needs
me,
4
I can't
votes.
hear you.
We need 4 votes.
Excuse me, I can't hear you.
Okay, we'll have to turn that off, Nathan.
Your
because we can't
objection
hear.
would be an intervening, and it would need to be voted on. It will take a majority of 4.
Okay, one moment, please.
Mr. DeVito?
Since this is developing into a bigger issue than I thought, the renomination of a sitting commissioner who has served for well over half a dozen years, I'll withdraw my motion and move on.
Okay. Motion, Mr. DeVito has withdrawn his motion. Ms. Balance? His motion has been withdrawn. What do you wish to do?
I'll withdraw my motion.
Very good. And Ms. Snyder's is still on the table for your consideration. With such, you should have copies of those. All right. Next item on the agenda, let me find it again. What? I can't hear you. No, not yet. That's what I'm going back to. Last council meeting, Ms. Green was nominated. You wish to vote on that tonight? Mr. DeVito.
I'll move to accept the nomination of Melissa Green for position 6 on the HDC, isn't it?
Yes,
Yes, it is. Motion's been made to nominate Ms. Green.
a second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And there was a question about Mr. Brittling. Until we have some other people apply for that position, we'll leave Mr. Brittling seated where he is now. Okay? All right, any other questions about positions on any of the committees? If not, we'll jump into department head reports, and we'll start with Mr. Grotner. And to save us some time, Mr. Grotner will probably do his committee meeting and public comments together. Save us some time so we won't have to be repetitive. Okay?
Thank you very much. You guys are really lousy timing. Last time around it was the Hookers and Jokers Ball. Tonight it's the St. Patrick's Day pub crawl. So I'm going to make this as brief as possible for a variety of reasons. First, I want to point out that I only represent myself here tonight. What I'm about to tell you does not represent the thoughts of the Planning Commission as a whole. You all received a letter from me earlier this week. Again, that was from me, not from the Planning Commission. Folks had suggested that I come up here to the microphone and read the whole letter over again. I don't think that's necessary to read it or reiterate it. I want to thank those on the council that took the time to take my calls and were very generous with their time. Doc, I'm sorry you were under the weather. In particular, I want to thank Janet and Laney. I apologize for chewing your ears off, ladies, but I really do appreciate not only the time that you put on the council and the time you put on the council and CAPC. I should know that. But I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me on the phone. Planning has a lot of work that we need to get accomplished this year. Since Beverly Blankenship has been added as our 5th commissioner, we have already missed 2 meetings. 4 of the commissioners are retired, including myself. And we travel a lot, and for lengths at a time. A month, somebody traveling for a month is not uncommon. So we really need to have 7 people on the Planning Commission so we can attend to the work that's in front of us. And I can tell you, it's doggone near impossible to find people to serve on planning. I mean, I've brought people to the meetings, I've chased people down. D. Perkypile, I mean, when he sees me coming, he runs in the other direction because he knows every time I'm going to say, D, come on, get on here. It'd be great. My personal feelings are that the qualifications for a seat at planning or HDC or CAPC, probably shouldn't speak for you, but be that the person be intelligent, open-minded, willing to do the research to make informed decisions, and willing to put in the work. I mean, it does take time. It does take sometimes a lot of time when we're in workshops. And I think Mickey brings all of that to the table. And I'll also note some people have asked, well, what's your relationship with Mickey? I don't know Mickey from a hole in the wall. I couldn't tell you where she lives. I've spent more time with Mickey tonight than I have in the 2 years I've lived here. She's the one that actually talked me into going on to planning. I had filled out an application for HDC. And I thought, ooh, planning, we'll be like building monorails and Jetson cars and domes over the city. This will be great. Didn't quite turn out that way, but maybe someday. But it's not because of a personal relationship I have with Mickey. I'm looking for, and everybody I'm planning is looking for qualified candidates. And to that end, I want to thank you all for approving Beverly. She's going to be a terrific asset to us. And if you know of anybody out there that would be good on planning, we would love to have them to fill up the commission. I told you how I think people should be judged to be on planning. I'll tell you how I don't think they should be judged, and that's personally. I mean, we all in this room have clay feet. I've got clay thighs and clay calves. I don't have a clay belly, but I do have clay thighs. And I think if you limit it to that, you're going to have a very small pool of applicants. What people have said privately in private conversations or what they've posted, I think that's their business. I don't think it's a disqualification for people to serve on these commissions. And if it is, you'd be disqualifying a lot of people because there are a lot of very outspoken people in this community. And frankly, that's what makes this community great, is that people are outspoken. Exception being Doc, but I know he thinks a lot. He doesn't talk a lot, and I appreciate that. To wrap up, I just want to say, when I moved here to Eureka Springs, I thought it was going to be kind of like Mayberry RFD, and it's clearly not Mayberry RFD. There's no Sheriff Andy. There's no Aunt Bee. But there's also no drum circles in Mayberry. So I think that's kind of cool. But I hope it doesn't turn into a Harper Valley situation where we're getting into picky personal sort of stuff. I've always felt, I know this is the case with me, that there's an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. And oftentimes when I'm making a decision, they're both whispering in my ear and I'm going back and forth. And I would just encourage you guys, I know you got a lot of pressure on you to listen to the angels and do the right thing. I'm going to kind of switch from that topic to a couple of issues regarding planning. One of the things I'd like to do is to ask you, when you start doing your budgeting for 2012, that you include somebody from planning in the workshops or however you do it. And I know in the corporate world, everybody gathers together and grovels and try to get their fair share of money, but no one was included from planning this year, to the best of my knowledge. And as a result, our budget is $750, and our needs are going to far exceed that. This is just one example. This is the current zoning map for the city of Eureka Springs. State law requires that every city maintain an accurate, up-to-date planning map. And this map has not been updated since 1999. There's a lot of changes. And the little bit of research I've done on